Today, I want to talk to you about how to rely on God in moments of anxiety, uncertainty, anxiousness, and times when we feel like the entire world is on our shoulders and we have nowhere to go. And so for me, this is actually a bit of a personal story from recently and inspired me to make this video. So I recently became officially certified as a personal trainer. I passed my exam, but it was a bit chaotic in the way I made it through. And so the entire exam was 150 multiple choice questions. 10 of those were unscored questions, so they did not count. And I prepared for this exam for most of the summer. For 2.5 months, I went to the library. I studied from anywhere from 3 to 6 hours a day. I put in the work. I completely thought I was prepared for this. I studied a lot of the flashcards, the math equations, and memorized a lot of the different body parts, the muscles, their actions, a lot of different stuff on exercise science and biomechanics. And I thought that I was completely ready. But anyways, I sit down for the test after a long process. They had to do a biometric scan on my palm. I had to pat myself down before going in. It was pretty intensive. And I sit down, and the first 30 questions were incredibly frustrating because they were all these practical questions that I did not practice. The ones I practiced were the math questions, were the questions where you had to memorize something. But here they would give you a video, you'd have to watch someone's form and give a response based on their form. And it was always choose the most right answer. Sometimes it even felt like there were 3 correct answers for each question. But to be honest, it felt like after those first 30 questions that every single one I got was wrong, and time was ticking. I think I was like 40 minutes into the exam, and it felt like a minute per question, and I think that was around my pace. And so time was ticking. I had to do this test, and all of a sudden internally, it felt like every single voice, myself, possibly the enemy, was telling me that I was going to fail this test. That not only was I going to fail, but my entire summer was a waste studying for this, and that I wasn't going to get the 70% I needed to pass the exam. And in that moment, in that tiny little cubicle, after all that screening, trying to get in, after waiting like 30 minutes to even write the exam, I was nervous and stressed, and now on top of this, I felt like everything was against me. It even felt like I was against myself. And so what did I do in this moment? I decided to turn to God. I decided to pray. And so I prayed. I said, Lord, let me get through this exam. Please let me pass this test. I prepared a lot. I thought that I was fully ready. Obviously now I know that I could have been more prepared on the aspects that the exam was questioning. It didn't explicitly say that the questions were so focused on the practical side. But at the end of the day, sometimes when you're blindsided, you just got to do the best you can with the material you've studied. So I'm here in this moment. I pray to the Lord. And what was crazy is it felt like after those first 30, maybe 50 questions, I got in a flow state. And for the next 100 questions, it honestly felt like I got every single question right. It probably isn't true, but that's how it felt. And I'm about to hand the exam in. There's 20 minutes left. I'm like, maybe I should go and check over every question that I've flagged. A flagged question was basically where you can hit the flag on the top right of the question, and it meant that you could come back to it, that you could review it later. So I kind of felt like in my heart that I just need to review and change one question. So I go through these flagged questions and I changed one. And I prayed again. I felt peace about it. I submit this exam. And of course, I didn't instantly get the score back. I had to go to the front to get the score. So I go out. I do the palm biometric scan again. The anxiety's pumping as I'm walking through this hallway. I get to where their front desk is. And this guy, I'm expecting some type of emotion, some type of smile as he prints out this paper, or some type of maybe frown that I failed this test. he's just stone cold. I think he's done this so many times where he's not going to give any indication either way. But he gives me this piece of paper, and it says pass, and then it says scaled score of 71. So my scaled score of 71, but when I did the math, my actual real score was 70% on the dot, meaning I think that if I got another question wrong, I would have failed this test that I studied 2.5 months for. So for you guys, this is just a reminder to trust in God in times of anxiety. When you feel like the entire world is on your shoulder, the enemy's yelling in your ear, your own thoughts are against you, sit down and pray. Sit down and be with God. Have peace. Don't be in a rush in this moment. Embrace the suck of whatever you're doing. Understand that maybe if something caught you off guard, it caught you off guard. But the best you can do is perform with the highest ability you have. And so that's what I did. I did pass the exam, thank the Lord. And yeah, continue to trust in God in those moments when you feel that uncertainty. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I'm going to continue to make you guys content. I know it's not been incredibly consistent, but I am working on it. And yeah, thank you guys so much. See you.